Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Len Dumas, Executive Director for the Northern California Section PJ with our section member, longtime section member and dear friend, Philip Dawson. And Philip has been instructing for years and years at the Performance Golf Academy and is a great honor this week as we head into second round on the bag for his longtime student, Corey Pereira. So, Philip, thank you for taking your time this morning. You guys have an 8:57 times off number 10, so I'm sure you want to start getting ready. But Philip, thanks again. How exciting! And please tell us about your journey with Corey.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, thanks, Len. It's great to be here with you this morning. Um, you know, Gosh, I guess Corey, when I was playing my own tour golf, he was the little kid on the range who would, come up and kind of nag me to go play golf in the afternoons when I was home practicing. So, uh, geez, he had to be 9 or something like that when I first met him, and probably by the time I started giving him some coaching, which was when I was still playing some tour golf, was when he was 12. So we've been doing this a long time. I think Corey's 27 now. So just a really cool story, to kind of watch him up through the progressions. He was by 16, he was a top 10 junior in the country. By, his sophomore year of college, maybe junior year early, he was probably in the top 10 or 15 in the world in the world amateur golf rankings. And, really just had one of those really tremendous amateur careers. And so it's been, a dream come true for him and me to be here. This was part of my dream too. I never made it as a player. And so, it's just, what a privilege to get to be here and amongst the best players in the world. And, super proud of him. He's gone through some adversity, which I'm sure we'll get into here in a second, in the last couple of years. So super proud of him for him being here.
Yeah, Philip, awesome. And part of it, it's more than just grip stance and posture, right? It's a lot more. It's a personal relationship. It's a mentor. It's a friend. It's a go-to, right?
Sure.
So as you mentioned, talk a little bit about what Corey's gone through and even is still going through right now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, shortly after college, he went straight into pro golf and kind of really took off, to be quite honest. He won right away on the Canadian Tour, finished top 5 on their money list, which got him onto the Canadian Tour. And, got him onto the Corn Ferry Tour. And so he spent a couple years on Corn Ferry. I would say his first year, he had a kind of just an obscure back injury. Maybe went about trying to get a little bit longer. Maybe could have done that differently if we look back in the past.
Yeah.
And and COVID came and that, kind of kiboshed Q school for a year. And then he was back on Corn Ferry last year. He made it all the way through Q school. And, really kind of, I think the story that's at the forefront for me is late last year, or I should say, in the fall, we found out that Leah's longtime girlfriend has cancer. And, at 26 years old. So that was quite a punch to the gut. Very proud of him. He took this year off really to help her through her treatments. This is really the only competitive golf he's played this year. I think he played the Napa Open in the fall. And other than that, he's played local and sectional US Open qualifying. That's literally his only tournaments this year. And to make it all the way here, speaks volumes to his abilities as a player.
Yeah,
Pretty cool story.
Yeah, Philip, it's superhuman. So best to Leah, of course, as she works her way through this. And
I'll add just a little note to that, Lynn. Everything seems to be going great. The doctors are really encouraged. Her scans are coming back very positive. She has a couple more rounds of chemo and radiation to finish up. God bless her. She's out here walking around with them. Yeah. First time she's really got to get out of the house almost all year. She kind of just decided to put her chemo on the shelf for an extra week and come down here and watch him. So it's been great seeing her out there and seeing her getting some fresh air. It was first air flight she took since she got diagnosed. And so God bless her. She's down here and supporting him, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, incredible, Phil. But I'm sure just her being there, it means so much to both of them, right? To both of them and to you as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, Phil, Los Angeles Country Club, please talk about the setup yesterday. Corey was 71, 1 over,
yes,
2 birdies, 3 bogeys. Talk about LACC and Corey's game, how they fit.
Sure. Well, Corey was actually in it to likely make the Walker Cup that was here. And so we actually came down. He was playing the college showcase at the Riviera PGA Tour event. And we came down and we played a practice round here gosh, that had to be 5 years ago or something now, when I think about it. So we got to look at it then. And, obviously then we thought it might be for the Walker Cup, in hindsight, maybe it was for this, but, obviously a member day versus the US Open, the setups are quite a bit different from the rough and the fescue is. The 2 rounds we saw shot yesterday, the 262s, I think that's why you see such disparity in the scores. If you hit it in the fairways, you have a chance. The greens are actually, even though they're crazy fast, they're not crazy firm yet. I will put, I don't want the USGA mad at us and making it harder than it is. So the greens were pretty doable. The problem is the penalty for the miss. 14, the par 5 yesterday, we missed the fairway by probably less than 2 feet, and you could barely move the ball about 60 yards. So if you do barely get in the rough, and because the gallery hasn't trampled down the rough that's just off the fairways, you get it's kind of potluck. You get some really horrible lies that it sinks to the bottom of the Bermuda and you can barely move it. The design itself is awesome. I haven't played Australian sandbelt golf, but we keep hearing this is very reminiscent of that. It's a beautiful layout. The holes run, you look at the old style courses down here, like Riviera in here, both by the same designer, by the way. The gentleman's name's escaping me right now, but they're just gorgeous designs. And I think Gil Hans came in a few years ago and redesigned it. He just did an awesome job.
Yeah. So Phil, to that point about the greens, Corey was a third yesterday in strokes gained putting, almost 3.5 strokes. So talk about that a little bit. Obviously having a lot of success on the greens. Yeah.
It was one of those rounds where if he didn't make it, it looked like it was going in. He also had about 3 or 4 that just grazed the edge from, really beautiful putts. He made some nice par savers. So that's probably where we picked up our strokes there.
Yep.
I would say, his ball striking wasn't poor by any means yesterday. It's just such a fine line between good and bad. And, we're just hopeful a little cleaner ball striking today and keep the putting going. And, man, I won't be surprised at all if he shoots something in the 60s today.
Yeah. Awesome. Philip, so what, having gone through yesterday, what are yesterday's lessons that come to today?
Well, I think number one, it's some great life lessons, which is just patience and perseverance and kind of some stick-to-itiveness. On number 1, he hit 2 beautiful shots on the par 5 just over the green, hit a beautiful pitch down to about, 5 or 6 feet, and hit a beautiful putt and lipped it out on the high side. And then he turned around the next way, hit it over in the left rough a few yards. We pitched it out. He had I can't remember the club, probably a wedge to 30 feet, and he made it for par. And that was, he kind of got a really cool moment there where the crowd went crazy. There was still like a bunch of people in the stands. And so I think he came over after that one went in and he said something like, well, that was the coolest moment of my life. And there's a guy who's, played on Korn Ferry, played on PGA Tour Canada. I think he shot 26 under when he went on PGA Tour Canada. And, obviously big crowds when I played that tour for 3 years, so big crowds when you're playing up there. But he said, having a home crowd and a US Open crowd and making a 30-footer like that was pretty cool. But I think the lessons are just, take what the course gives you, prioritizing getting the ball in the fairway. And, you got to be really careful attacking the pins because if you miss by what we all would consider the rough just off the green, around the greens, if it's not shaved, it tends to be this 8-inch fescue grass. And so you'll miss a green by 2 or 3 yards, 2 yards, a yard, and you're only 15 feet from the hole and you're an 8-inch grass just over the bunker. So it's, that stuff, you got to favor the fat side of the green a little bit. I watched some highlights last night. I didn't get to watch much of Xander's round, although we played a practice round with Xander and Patrick Cantlay the day before. But Ricky made some really nice mid-range putts, and that's what you're going to have to do to shoot a low score out here because you're going to have to hit it to 25 feet quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, Philip, one more, and then we'll let you go because it's again you've got 8:57.
Yes, sir.
This morning off number 10. So does that even affect anything, Philip? The course is generally set up to play from 1 to 18. But there, you're starting on number 10. Does that change strategy or affect any strategy?
I think all the holes are hard. Also, all the holes, someone told me a long time ago, if you execute your shots properly, there's no hard shot. I really have believed that over the years. At this level, though, the standard of executing that shot properly is very high. So, we're just going to try and soak in the moment again. We're going to have really big crowds, I'm guessing, today since we're playing earlier in the day. Yesterday we were last off and we had good crowds. I'd say the first 2/3 of the round. And then toward the end, there was bad crowds, just, a lot of people had started to filter home since the big names were done. So I think it's going to be an electric environment. The weather's supposed to be perfect. I'm guessing after those 2 rounds, the USGA, I know they redid the pins a little bit, I think, from what I heard. So I think they're going to make it a little harder today. And but anything in the 60s is going to be a great round. And with the weather being perfect,
Yeah.
it is doable. It is doable. You just got to keep it out of the rough. If you keep it out of the rough in the fescue, you can do it.
Well, Philip, I can't thank you enough, for our text exchange last night to get this set up, and you taking the time this morning to do this. So, we're proud of you. We're proud of Corey, and just keep on going. And that bag's not getting heavier, is it? You doing okay?
Oh, well, the staff bag this year, we had a carry bag for sectional. So 36 hole sectional, and he shot 9 under. I could have won another 18, but the staff bag my 46-year-old body's getting a little old for those. But we all the support he's been getting this week, whether it was the TV coverage or, people supporting Leah and Corey, has been tremendous. And all the support I've gotten from you and all the section members has been great. So thank you guys so much. It means a lot.
Yeah, thanks, Philip. Onward, and best to you, Jay, best to Corey and Leah, and we'll be watching. So we'll catch up soon. Thank you, Philip.
Thanks, bro. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
See ya.